My friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your daily horoscope for Saturday, the 10th of April, 2021. We've got the moon moving into Aries to join up with Chiron, to join the sun, to join Venus, to join Eris. As Venus is still conjunct with Eris today, how we're dealing with decisions, how we're choosing to move forward with our actions. Venus, everything we love, want, and desire. Our sun is our emotion, our ego representation of self. Our moon is our emotional needs, our control, the side of people that they don't always get to see. Our emotional side. All in the sign of Aries, which is the spark of the match of the zodiac, right? It's getting things going. It's the initiation. We've come out of the moon in Pisces. Let me show you this chart here. We've come out of the moon in Pisces, and we have, you know, when I left out Mercury, how can I leave Mercury out of here as well? Mercury square to Saturn today. Venus creating a sextile to Jupiter. The moon is going to conjunct Chiron today. So we have a lot of energy here. It's like all of our major players, sans Mars, leading the pack as of now for the next month and a half. Mars leading the way here in Gemini. Which direction are we going? And there's a lot of options. And we have all of the energy that's motivating Mars, is all of this energy is in Mars' sign. Mars is associated and has rulership over Aries and Scorpio. And this is all about taking action. So what's driving our planet of action is literally our emotions, our ego, our thoughts, our communication, that which we love, that which we desire, material possessions, things, and as well trying to bring some sort of serenity, some sort of peace to ourself as we have all of this energy going on here. So let's start with Mercury square to Saturn. This is the authority. Saturn is the authority. The square can be a challenging aspect, especially when it comes to Mercury, as Mercury is the speedy little helper of the sun, God's messenger, sun god. Let me talk about that for a second. Our ancients, our ancestors, if you look at Sumerian texts, if you look at Egyptian texts, they talk about the gods a lot. Not just a God in Christian form, or how we have nowadays. We've simplified it to one God, the source of light, source of love, and source of everything great. And we say that everything bad is over here. This is somebody else's energy, or entity of energy. But if we look at the past, if we look at the Sumerian text, the Babylonian text, who created astrology, the Sumerians knew about Pluto, they knew about Neptune, they knew about Uranus far before we ever did, thousands and thousands of years before we ever did. And the Egyptians as well were deep into astrology. The Egyptian, although our calendar year here starts in Aries, where all the energy is right now, this is our zodiac calendar year. And nowadays the sun is born in Capricorn, the new year. But in old times, in Egyptian days, it was Leo. It ended in Leo and it was born in Virgo. The sun born in Virgo, the Virgin. Anyway, our ancestors called the planets gods. The planets were gods because they are immortal forces. They are withstanding time. Those planets have been around for thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of years, far after our lifespan exists here on this planet. And often in these old texts, it will say, it'll say the different gods, whether it was Tiamat, Marduk and Tiamat, or whichever god they're referring to planets. And when they talk about a planet, heading off to or having a battle with, this is what they were talking about. They were talking about conjunctions. They're talking about squares. They're talking about aspects of different planetary energy that face each other in battle. And we, as it's a reflection here, we are the ones experiencing that of which these gods, these planets, these immortal, everlasting, potentially, we don't really know, entities, these celestial bodies, these celestial entities. And it's oftentimes, when we think of it like this too, and it would say that this God would succeed over the other God. And we look at succeed in the terms of rank in our modern language. But there's another way we can look at succeed. Precede and succeed just means before and after. So when this God succeeded over this God, or when this God succeeded over the other God, what that meant is these two planets that were going to war with each other were coming into conjunction, and Marduk swept into the bosom of Tiamat, ripping her and succeeded her. This is one planet coming into a conjunction and then moving beyond the other planet. So it's interesting that when we have a lot of energy going on here in the sign of Aries about forcefully moving forward. And something with nature, Lao Tzu, nature is never in a hurry, yet everything always gets accomplished. And I find that quote to be extremely potent right now with all of this Aries energy. Because we can certainly be in a rush for something, be in a rush for love, be in a rush for the next thing. When's the world going to go back to normal? Be in a rush in our minds. And that is a big one going on today. In a rush of our minds, and Saturn says, stop, wait, slow down. Slow down, little buddy. And Mercury's like, I'm the messenger of the gods. I'm catching up here with my friend, the Sun and Venus, and I have a message to deliver to people, and I have to hurry. And stillness can be challenging during this time. But that's the square to Saturn, is Saturn is all about patience. Saturn is about patience. And if we want this vision of the future, this future that we're creating, we don't want to rush something. We don't want to hurry the thought. We don't want to hurry the process. A beautiful Trevor Hall song, there's no rushing a healing, as the moon is going to be conjunct Chiron today. Beautiful song if you don't know it, Trevor Hall. No rushing a healing. And we have Venus creating the sextile to Jupiter in an interesting degree, 25 degrees. At 25 degrees, Venus is in this place of, it's like the world is saying you can have everything you want. And the sextile to Jupiter. Jupiter's all about abundance. You want this life that you want to create. You want this life that you're creating. You want to step into that. You want to embody it fully. You want everything right now. It's like we can see the top of the staircase, but we must do the work to get there. And sometimes we're like, oh, I see the top. I see the top of the mountain. I see my goals right there. They're right there. And I just want it. But all of this is saying that there's work to be done. There's work to be done, and respecting that process step by step as each day goes, each breath that we have, each thought that we have, slowing it down the best that we can during times that seem so rushed. It's like asking it's like funny. It's like asking a whitewater rapid flowing river to slow down. It's like, well, that's the energy right now, and we can't. But as cognizant, conscious human beings, it's about navigating our oars, our paddle. And though we can't fight the current itself, we can't fight these solar winds, we can't fight these solar deities, we have the awareness and the ability to slow things down by changing the way that we row, by changing our paddle, by navigating those waters carefully and as soundly as possible. And this 25 degrees of Aries, where Venus is at right now, this is like Aladdin and the magic lamp and the monkey Apu, and he sees this. It's like, only touch the lamp, and Apu sees this big glowing ruby, and he's like, it's surrounded by abundance. This is us seeing our future, but we have one specific mindset, one specific goal. And that's the lamp. and we're being distracted by, it's, what is it? It's a tarot card. Not all that glimmers is gold. Not all that shimmers is gold, whatever that is. Maybe it's an oracle card, but maybe you know what I'm talking about. So this is saying, like, there's repercussions. If you fill your bowl up too much, it spills. We can only hold so much. We can only fit so much. And it's interesting because Venus is about the feels, which is about, we can have maximum capacity and enjoying and loving all of these things, all of these earthly delights. But when we enjoy all these earthly delights, there can be cause and effect consequence to our future self. We eat too much sweets, there's a cause and effect. We drink too much, there's a cause and effect. We smoke too much, there's a cause and effect. We socialize too much, we're so much involved with other people, we're not taking enough time for ourselves. There's a cause and effect with everything. And on the other side, where Jupiter, so there's like this understanding there about staying focused on the one thing that we're aiming at, the one goal, and trying to put the horse blinders on, in a sense, to not be distracted by the rubies and all the other gold and all of these other beautiful, magical things, but to stay focused on our goal, whatever that goal may be. And over there in Aquarius, where Jupiter's at, where it's abundance, this is like a wind turbine or a water dam, something like that, where it's like we're using natural resources, we're using natural energy to accomplish a great goal, to accomplish a great job. So as we have all of this exertion, all this energy with Aries going on right now, and this happens at 3 p.m., the Mercury is going to be square to Saturn between 2 and 3, and Venus sextile over there to Jupiter. So we might have difficult thoughts of how we're going to be obtaining our goal and the focus that we have. And coming back here, Jupiter wants to bring abundance into our lives and says there's an easier way to accomplish this. And we can use natural elements. That's the beauty of the Pluto and Scorpio babies. Not babies isn't like infants, but the generation, the Pluto-Scorpio generation, is like reteaching humanity to come back to herbs, to come back to natural things. Something like we talked about the other day of, when I injured my shoulder and the American process versus how it was in Costa Rica. It was almost very simple. It was almost archaically simple. And we have this same thing, but this is about technology. Technology in the sense that we can utilize a simple aspect of technology to do something great in our lives. So whatever we're focused on, whatever the thing is that we need, that we're trying to accomplish, maybe there's a simpler approach to whatever it is that we're trying to do, and to use the forces of nature, to use the natural elements to aid us in our journey, whatever that may be. Lastly, we have the moon here at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, meeting up with Chiron. And this is forgiving ourselves. This is loving ourselves. We can be friends with a lot of people and still not be our own best friend. We can forgive a lot of other people, but hold on to hurt and pain ourselves. And it's like this pain is an illusion. This pain is an illusion, but yet it's real. We feel it. So that's quite paradoxical, I know, but such is life. And this is coming back to no matter how hurried of a day we have, no matter how busy of our schedule is, we can't see everything. We can't do everything that we want to sometimes in a day. And this is saying to not be upset with ourselves, to not be so frustrated with ourselves, but to be gentle with ourselves, to be gentle with our thoughts, to be gentle with our emotions, to be gentle with our feelings. And reminding ourselves that we don't have to hurry. We don't have to rush to get something accomplished. Back to that Lao Tzu quote. Nature's never in a rush, but everything gets accomplished. So one way or another, one foot in front of another, the baby learns to crawl. Then the baby learns to walk. Then the baby learns to run. Then it has a whole vocabulary and is talking sass back to you before you know it. And we have this great energy of saying, like, look, we can do it one at a time. And when the current gets too rough, when things get too fast, we can learn how to maneuver our own brakes. Saturn up there in Aquarius square to Mercury. We can figure out when to slow things down to keep the pace of this marathon and not just die out to burn out in a sprint. Or to harness, here's another thing that's coming through right now, this 25 degrees of Venus and 25 degrees of Aquarius, where Jupiter's at. We don't have to light the entire matchbook, all the things. We don't have to light all the matches to start the fire. We just need to light a match. And what we do with that one match is igniting the burning log. And then from that log, those resources can burn. Thank you. Right? So this is another way of using that fire into perspective. And whatever comes of our day, my friends, I hope you have an absolutely beautiful, wonderful Saturday. We're getting ready for this new moon, Aries new moon. Really powerful energy this weekend. As always, thank you for hanging out with me. I love you. I wish you enough. Have a happy Saturday, and we'll see you tomorrow.